In this video, we're going to cover a couple of common QCAD operations. For instance, resetting our work zero. I've just opened up a file and it just really looks goofy. All these lines are really thick. So one of the first things we need to check, first of all, let's look at everything. These in the layer list, this eye will turn on all layers. So first of all, all these line weights are real thick. If we highlight something and go to the properties, the line weight says by layer. If we look at layer 0, it just says default. Something's goofy. We typically are using QCAD in the inch units. So let's go over to Edit, Drawing Preferences, Drawing Unit, and set this to inch. Apply that, and voila, it all looks better now. If you're going to insert a instrument in this place right here, let's just use the insert. Let's just use a random instrument here. Going to our drawings folder, instrument, go to standard, altimeter VSI front mount, and all that looks fine. I can just insert it. Now if you get one that shows up real big, that would be an indication again that your drawing's not set up to be using the inch units. So just again go to Edit, Drawing Preferences, Drawing Unit, Inch. Now once you save this, it will be saved. Just remember, a lot of these drawings were made in EasyCAD or another CAD and may not be set up just properly for QCAD. Again, the layer list, you can turn on or off individual layers by just clicking the little eye. You can edit a particular layer. In this case, this file was generated in probably an EasyCAD. So let's just highlight layer 2, and we can go to edit that layer, and we can assign a color to that layer, which EasyCAD could not do. So now anything drawn, this layer is highlighted. So to draw any new entities, a line for instance, will be red. And colors typically do not make any difference, but they're handy to isolate different functions. In this case, like a bezel. This one was drawn in a cyan color, which is fine. This one was a dark blue. Again, that's just fine. All the cutting things other than this were done. We can make all these by layer. Then whatever that layer has, let's make this bezel blue. Now if we've got all of these highlighted, if we go over here to color, it says varies, and we can just make that by layer, and now they're all consistent with the bezel layer. I can do the same thing. I can hold Shift and then add additional selections to the selection set. I can use the scroll bars to move around, again holding the Shift down. Hit by layer, and then it should change to the color by layer. So now I can see in QCAD, here is the origin mark. We need to know where we are measuring from in order to match this up on the Panel Pro, so the Panel Pro knows where to start cutting. In order to change the origin of the file, everything has to be highlighted and everything has to be visible. So we want to hit Show All Layers, and then just draw a box around everything. Now we've got an arc in the corner here, and so what I want to use the left hand side for the x-axis origin and this side for the y-axis origin. So now we can highlight everything, click move, and now the command bar says reference point. Now I want to snap to a manual intersection consisting of that line and that line, and now we are moving everything at the intersection of that line. Now I can't snap on this point, it's not a snappable point, but I can hit my space bar, and now the cursor goes to the command bar, and I can type in 0, 0, and now hit enter. The move copy options comes up, and I want to delete the original. Never have this checked. It says use current layer and attributes. If you have that checked, everything will move to the bezel layer. We do not want to do that. It'll cause you lots of problems. So just hit OK at this point. Now we can see that the origin mark is at the lower left hand corner. So now these line weights are by layer. This is layer outside now. Let's look at layer outside, and it just says default. And I think there's a setting somewhere that gives that default layer. If it is 0 and you try and print this, it will hardly print. So basically it needs to be about 0.05 millimeters or so for line thickness, but this will be just fine. So anyhow, the main object is to move this to 0, save it. It's LW163 PLT cut. Open up AvCam. Here's AvCam 19. Let's open up the file, aircraft, beach, pilot cut. Nothing's showing because I've got layer 0 highlighted. So let's show layer 2 and outside. There's layer 2 and outside. Now this is AvCam's origin mark. If you cannot see where this origin mark is, you need to figure out why it is. Now the origin does not have to be at the lower left hand corner, but you do need to know where it is so you can match up the panel pro to it. For instance, the origin could be in the middle of this hole. A nice straight edge is great because if we have to do any referencing to this, we can reset this panel up and recut something if we know where a coordinate is. So that is the whole idea of setting up the origin in your file. Later on, we will show you how to marry this up to the panel pro itself.